Liberal commitment is to building a team that is as diverse as our great nation, and the results of our open nomination process can be seen here today.
I didn't know Seamus O'Seamus had an open nomination. Tonight's top story, more problems for Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party. A large group of Sikh Liberals in British Columbia, they're quitting the party. According to Rajinder Singh Bella, we think this Liberal Party's been hijacked by the World Sikh Organization. Toronto Sun columnist Warren Kinsella joins us now from Toronto. And Warren, happy to announce you will not be running for Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. There was a lot of speculation you would. I know you had some personal interest in it, but it's just not going to happen, and open nominations is part of that, right?
Yeah, it's, I guess in my case, I'm going to be talking about it in a column in the Sun papers on Friday, kind of detailing my reasons there. But let's just put it this way. I'm a bit of an independent spirit, as you know, and a writer and a commentator. And in some circumstances, that is welcome, and in other places, that is not welcome.
All right, so your case in Toronto, we can point to, I'm losing track of her name right now. The pot queen
Chrystia
in Vancouver.
Yeah.
There's Chrystia Freeland in that setup. Christine Ennis. Jody Emery, that's the name that, thank you, Ryan. Jody Emery out in Vancouver, who has not been greenlit. David Birchie in Ottawa. It goes on, and yet today there's Justin Trudeau saying, we believe in open nominations, that's what makes us so great. He's being more heavy-handed, despite being the only one to promise this, than any other party.
I think what he needed to do is what his predecessors did. Mr. Chrétien, my boss, Mr. Martin, Mr. Dion, Mr. Ignatieff, all of them did what every leader of every party has always done, which is reserve to themselves the right to say yes or no to particular candidates. That's what the public expects of leaders. That's what the public expects of political parties. There's nothing wrong with it. So I think Justin created a bit of a dilemma for himself by saying he was going to have open nominations, and then started to become seen as favoring, particular candidates over others. And it's engendered some emotion across the country. But as to whether it will have an impact on the bottom line on election day, that's a different question.
Yeah, sometimes what obsesses politicos isn't the same as what obsesses the electorate. Just look at what I was talking about in the monologue with the Wynne government and more billions wasted. I do want to read another quote from one of the disgruntled Liberals in British Columbia. Kashmir Diwali, a former president of the Dewan Society, says the Liberal Party, especially Justin, is in bed with extremist and fundamental groups. That's why I decided to leave the party. There's claims that all of this Sikh people that he is backing himself with, surrounding himself with, are tied in some way to the World Sikh Organization, which is seen as extremist, that other political leaders have tried to distance themselves after finding out bits and pieces of them in the past. Is this a potential harmful bit, this specific incident? You had the one candidate that sold an estimated 4,000 party memberships. The other candidate sold 1,000. Justin backed the controversial one that had sold 1,000.
In my entire life, in any political party, in any part of the country, Brian, I cannot recall of a single instance where all of this behind the scenes scrambling and fighting, and in some cases actual fist fighting, for a nomination in a particular riding has ever had an impact on Joe and Jane front porch. Unfortunately, that's the way they think those of us in politics deal with things. Where it does have an impact is on your ability to fundraise, your membership, your teams that you need to go out and hammer in signs or go around and do canvasses with the candidate during election time. It can have an impact there. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think a lot of these fights are taking place, not just in the Liberal Party, but also some in the Conservative Party, because there's some ambitious people out there think I could be part of the winning team. So I think that's why these fights are taking place.
I want to play a different clip. It's a bit of a gear shift right now, but I want to play a different clip and ask you if this will change anything. End of the show, we're going to play the clips from the Conservative Caucus Christmas party last night with Stephen Harper singing "Makes Him Look Human." People love that. But Lorraine Harper, the Prime Minister's wife, got a little political with her speech last night, and that's not something that we're used to seeing from the spouses of elected leaders in Canada. Let's roll tape and then we'll get your reaction.
Party is the best party, the party that consistently delivers. Canadians know that our party supports their interests and their families. And Canadians surely know that our party is the one out there defending and promoting Canada's values on the world stage. Yeah. Canadians know these things, and that's why the Conservative Party of Canada was victorious in 2006, 2008, and 2011. And that's why we're going to be victorious again next year.
Now, Warren, you know Lorraine Harper. She is an independent woman. She is a charming woman. She is her own woman. But there she is, selling her husband's achievements, her husband's party's achievements. Does this change things?
I was shocked. Honest to God, I was shocked. I do know her. I have great, great respect for that woman. I think she is Stephen Harper's secret weapon, in fact, much in the way that Mrs. Chrétien was for Mr. Chrétien, and so on. She is an amazing person. I never thought I'd ever see her make a speech like that. And I think that means that the Conservative Party has decided to bring out the secret weapon that heretofore they have not used, which is Lorraine Harper. And she, I think, would have an impact. The danger, of course, is when you do that, when you cross that line. Emila Moroney, Eileen Chrétien, and so on never cross that line. When you do that, then she becomes open to criticism, and she becomes, in effect, a public figure. So that may be not something that they want to have happen. Although
I'm sure, and I'm sure you are as well, she can give as good as she gets.
Can. And I just have to mention, on the singing last night, he's a not bad musician, the Prime Minister, but I mean, John Denver, seriously.
He did a bunch of
wrong.
He did Guns N' Roses. All right, we'll bring people more of that later in the show. Warren, great talking to you.
Thanks, my friend.